Yo, 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 what up, and welcome back to another edition of Mike on Sports. I go by the name Mike Ross. Big ups to that 501 Little Rock, and big ups to that 317 Indianapolis, man. We out here and we in the building. Yes, sir, man. Look here, man. Look here. I gotta admit, man, this next topic, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of boxing. I watch a lot of boxing. And this guy is one of my favorite fighters in boxing. Deontay Wilder, the WBC Bronze Bomber champion, got me into boxing. Really made me a fan of the sport. And guys like Terrence Crawford, Jermall Charlo, and Chris Eubank Jr. kept me in the sport. Chris Eubank Jr. man has been hated on, been ridiculed, been talked about by a lot of people, man. A lot of people don't like this guy. A lot of people don't like the bravado, the machismo, the don't like his flavor or charisma. But I'm here to tell you, man, I am a fan of this guy right here. I love the aura that he walks around with. And in boxing, it's another other sport in boxing, man. You fucking need that aura. You need that something that people can hate on. You need to be the antagonist. Either is everybody gonna root for you, or you gotta be the antagonist. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be. You can't be in between, because a lot of those guys end up and not making a lot of money. Chris Eubank Jr. on the other hand, just to give you guys a little quick backstory on Chris Eubank Jr. Man, I guess I will give you a little backstory. His father, Chris Eubank Sr., was a super middleweight champion, and I believe a middleweight champion also. Went by simply the best. Had a chin out this world. And Senior always told his son, like, nah, man, you can't box. I ain't gonna let you box, man. I ain't gonna let you box. And this kid, I used to watch videos online of Chris Eubank Jr. as a youngster, and he would sit there and beg his father over and over and over and over again, please let me fight, let me fight, let me fight. I want to fight. I want to do this. I want to do that. So finally, his father sent him over to Las Vegas, and there he won a couple Golden Gloves. Went to the Mayweather gym, got a lot of good experience at the Mayweather gym, and started his professional career without very much amateur experience. And man, he started off pretty well. Started off pretty goddamn good. Billy Joe Saunders was one of his first big time opponents. A fight in which he lost. You know what I'm saying? I thought it could have went either way, but he got a split decision loss on that fight. But that wasn't the end of Chris Eubank Jr. He went back to the domestic scene, beat Nick Blackwell, beat Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Then really started to make his way until to like the IBO and super middleweight route. Faced Arthur Abraham in a fight that pretty much dictated on whether he was going to get in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. And from there, he went out and had an impressive first round victory over Aveni Yildirim with a devastating knockout with a left hook, which I just showed you on the replay. Also, he went on to face George Groves in a fight that George Groves' experience in that fight played a big part, but George Groves also realized that he was in a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. He was injured after the fight. His shoulder was very messed up, had to take off some time, so he knew that he was in a fight with a dog. But in that fight, Chris Eubank Jr.'s lack of experience really showed, and it really showed that he wasn't ready for that level yet. So came back, rebuilt, and then jumped right into it with fucking James DeGale. And really, a lot of people thought James DeGale was going to be able to beat him. A lot of people thought James DeGale had just too much skill for him, too skillful for him. But Chris Eubank Jr. went out there and put on an absolute clinic against James DeGale. Really beat him up. But yeah, man, he just showed people that not only could he compete at this level, but he's going to be somebody to reckon with. Chris Eubank isn't active enough. Man, you can say that all you want to, Rod, and I understand your position, but I'm of the mindset, man, this guy stays in the gym so much. Every time you see him, it's not like he's adding weight like some of these other boxers. It's not like he's getting bigger like some of these other boxers. He's shredded at all times, and I think his way of life about really living that boxer's code, I think that's gonna pay dividends in the future. But on to it, man. Y'all know why we here. Y'all know why we here, man. He's been talking. Chris Eubank been talking about he want to take over 160. He ain't here just to take part. He coming back down to take over, and he got his eyes firmly set on the WBC middleweight champion of the world, not the franchise champion. Now we ain't talking about the franchise champion. Now we ain't talking about that. We talking about Jermall the Hitman Charlo. And Eubank Jr. says he sees flaws in Jermall Charlo's game. He thinks he can take Jermall Charlo out at any, well, they ain't say at any time, but he thinks he has the capability of taking Jermall Charlo out. Let's go and pause it right there on Jermall Charlo and Chris Eubank Jr. In my opinion, that's a big fight. That's a big fight. You can do that in the States, or you can make it a stadium fight over in the UK. I think these two guys have the star appeal, have the appeal to bring in fans, and maybe even bring in some casual fans. I know Eubank Jr. has a huge profile over in the UK. A lot of people like him. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people hate him. So don't get me twisted and don't get it wrong. I think this fight would do good numbers because people want to see both these guys fail. People think these guys are too arrogant, too pompous, you know what I'm saying, in their approach to boxing. Think they have too much time doing fashion and other shit like that. So this is a fight that I'm totally down for. But let's get to some quotes that Eubank Jr., you know what I'm saying, said in a story that I read on Boxing Scene. Go ahead and get to it, man. We ain't gonna read the whole story. I agree, Rod, either in Houston or in the UK. Let's see. Eubank Jr. said, the transition down to middleweight hasn't been a shock to the system as I thought it may have been. To be honest, I'm not far over the weight now, and we are a couple weeks out. The Vegas heat has really helped me, but I've really done this weight properly, and I'm ready to go. So he's talking about he's a couple weeks out from the Korobov fight. Matt Korobov is an opponent that Jermall Charlo faced, and some people thought he had a lackluster performance, maybe even could have lost that fight against Korobov. So Chris Eubank Jr. is going in there against Korobov, coming off a Emmanuel Alim draw he had with Korobov. So Junior is coming out and trying to pluck him out right then and there. So we're going to see how that Matt Korobov fight plays out December 7th, only on Showtime. Korobov is a great fighter. He has a massive amateur career and gave Charlo a great fight for the world title not long back. His style, I feel, however, is one that would suit me, and I think I will outbox him and eventually get the stoppage. I agree. I think Korobov's style is tailor-made for Chris Eubank Jr. And the reason why I say that is because Korobov is a guy who's going to sit right there in front of you. And we've seen what Eubank Jr. do to guys who sit right there in front of you. The only guy that he really had a problem with is George Groves and Billy Joe Saunders. And both those guys were boxing and moving in their respective fights. So when you look at Korobov, he's a good boxer, but he stays at mid-range. And staying at mid-range against Chris Eubank Jr. is dangerous because he's aggressive, he goes for it, and he has a good chin that can hold up, and it has held up against bigger guys at 168. So I do think Korobov's style, it is made for Eubank Jr. He continued to say, I am really excited to be making my American debut at the Barclays Center in a few weeks' time, and I feel like this fight is a good fight for my first fight on American soil. Now look, man, we seen UK motherfuckers go to New York for their debut, and it don't turn out too well. So with that being said, I mean, Ian, Chris Eubank Jr. is really, really, really good friends with Anthony Joshua. So hopefully none of that bad would you know what I'm saying, rubs off on Chris Eubank Jr. because I got a nice little bet on Chris Eubank Jr. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he comes through with the victory. I'm just saying, in previous histories, in early this year, when a UK fighter made his debut at the Mecca of boxing in New York, not Madison Square Garden, but New York as a whole, it didn't go as well too well for him. He also said, "I want to take over the middleweight division and fight some of the best out there. I don't believe Charlo is one of the best out there, to be honest, and I be happy to fight him after I take care of business on December 7th." Ooh, them big words right there, man. I don't feel like Jermall Charlo is one of the best at 160. Not Chris Eubank Jr. I love both of you guys. I love Jermall Charlo. I love Chris Eubank Jr. So if that fight happens in the future, I probably won't be picking that fight, but I would be doing breakdowns and giving out the strengths and weaknesses of both guys. But to say you think he's not one of the best in the division, I think that's kind of harsh. I think that's being a little disingenuous. I think that's not accurate. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to tell this man how to feel? You know what I'm saying? I can't tell this man how to feel. If he sees something sweet in Charlo, then shit. Maybe he got a sweet tooth. Maybe he needs to go get some of that right quick and see how it tastes. We never know. He may see something that we don't see. That's why you gotta love fighters, man, and their perspective on things. Just because we think somebody's good or somebody got some kind of skill, other fighters and their contemporaries may not feel the same way. But Chris Eubank Jr. goes on to say, if Canelo Alvarez comes back down to middleweight, that is a fight I will want as he is the best out there. And I think my style is one that could cause Canelo problems. Golovkin is another name that I would want to fight if that fight could be made. Now, I mean, he's doing the right thing when you come back in the division at 160. Those are two names that you got to really call out, Canelo and Gennady, but we know that I think Canelo has plans of staying at 168, defending his title, maybe even going up and fighting Kyler Smith for the real WBA title. And also, we know that Gennady Golovkin, I don't know if he's going to be looking towards Eubank Jr. as a fight that he would want, because it may be a little bit too dangerous with him, being as that he's signed to the zone on a long contract and they want the Canelo Alvarez 3 fight. I think that Gennady may be going with his mandatory route, some guy that ain't never heard of, and just keeping it kind of chill before that big fight with Canelo happens, and I think it will eventually happen. And the last quote from Chris Eubank Jr., he says, "Now I am back down at 160. I will be a big middleweight. I was having breakfast this morning of the weigh-in when I was at 168, and I was barely putting on any weight after the weigh-in. Now I'm going to show a more explosive version of myself at middleweight." Look, man, I mean, I can't disagree. I mean, you had a great tank at 160 before you went up to 168. You showed that great tank at 168, so why would it be any different you coming back down to 160? Like you said, you were eating breakfast on the morning of the weigh-in, and that's pretty much unheard of from fighters nowadays, cutting so much weight. So if you feel like you'll be more explosive, more devastating at 160, I mean, then, hey, we got to see it, you know what I'm saying? Only time will tell. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much my Chris Eubank Jr. Show. I mean, he a bad man at the end of the day, man. I'm a fan of Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's a very, very, very talented boxer. I think he can go out there and give anybody at 160 right now a run for that money. I think with his output, with his pace, with his stamina, I think he is definitely somebody that's going to be a player in this 160 division. He's still chasing that elusive world title. I know some people may not consider the IBO a legitimate world title, but I kind of do. You know what I'm saying? I got respect for the IBO, but he's still on the hunt, trying to get one of those major sanctioned body titles: WBC, WBO, WBA, and IBF. Until next time, man, if you guys want to support the channel, help me out, you know what I'm saying? You can cash out me at Mike or MG2312. It's right there on the screen. PayPal me at Mike Gross, whatever the fuck they say. I don't know, right there on the screen, that shit anyway. Mike Gross 2312. Or if you just want to support the channel, man, smash the thumbs up, like, share the show, and I'm gonna start doing more and more and more of these shows. And I got a lot of shows that I did already today. Go back and check them out, man. Till next time, peace out. Yes, sir.